Hello and welcome back to my single player create world. Today we have a lot of stuff planned and it's all gonna start with an adventure. Because, well, first of all, I realized I haven't showed you the outside world. And also I need a lot of stuff from said outside world. So yeah, need to go out and explore the place. So it's a very pretty looking place. Just look at that. Nice mountain. Creepers also. Very stupid creepers. Dang it. I'm gonna clean this up later. Actually, I needed to bring some wheat. Because, yeah. We need to get a lot of stuff. So we need to get some sheep. Do I have shears? I do not have shears. We need to get wool. We need to get sheep. We need to get kelp. We need to get a bed. We need cactus. We need all sorts of stuff. But yeah, I think there's a village close by. I really haven't explored all that much around the area, but I think I've seen a village somewhere over that way. So let's just go and take a look if we can see something. Yeah, there's a village over there. So let's go there. At least we will get a bed. And thus started our adventure. So we explored the woods, we swam for a little while, we met some new friends. It didn't go as well as it could have, so we started all over again. Finally managed to cross the river and reach the village that we looted for everything valuable that we could find. We finally met some sheep, sheared them, and brought them back inside a house so that they wouldn't run away. And then we started exploring some more, found some trees, all sorts of valuable resources, bamboo, some more types of wood, and we finally got the cactus that we needed. And now that we're back home with all those resources, we can finally get started with all the cool contraptions that we're gonna build today. But you might have noticed I've been quite insistent about getting cactus, which, I agree, sounds like a very weird priority, but trust me, it's gonna give us access to one of the most useful tools that we could get, super glue. So to get super glue, you need slime balls, which is quite easy to obtain. You just kill a slime, except we haven't seen a single slime yet in this world, so no slime balls are easily available. But luckily we have a quick and easy solution. We can craft slime balls with lime dye and dough, which we can get. It's a bit of a rabbit hole again, but we can get it from wheat flour, which we can get by throwing some wheat in a millstone. So it's all very easily accessible now that we have cactus. But before I explain why glue is gonna be so important, let's talk about the plans for today. We're going to set up contraptions to gather resources and quickly dig out huge areas. So let's start with this little room over here. I want to dig a big hole in the floor and bring it all the way down to bedrock. Now of course we're not gonna use stone tools for that. That would be very silly. Instead, we're gonna use a mechanical drill, which we can attach under a rope pulley. So if we place the rope pulley here and the drill right there underneath, spin it so it's going down, and put the hand crank here, as you can see, oops, if I spin the handle, it's gonna move down and it's gonna start digging in the floor, and I can pull it back up and see we broke that block here. Now you might notice a few little problems so far with that whole situation. The first one being that it's quite small. It's only digging one block at a time. So to help with that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a lot more drills. Just like that, we covered a big chunk of the floor in drills. Again, slight problem. It's only grabbing onto one of the drills, and that's where the glue is gonna become super useful. If we glue everything together, we can now start spinning it other way around. There we go. No. We're having some technical difficulties. I'm sorry about that. But now all 25 drills are going down and breaking the floor. Let's just put a torch back here because we don't see anything. And eat a little bit, but there is still one slight problem. If we pull it back up, oops, again broke the torch. As you can see, all the resources are still on the ground down there, which can be a bit of a problem because it's gonna take more than 5 minutes and stuff is gonna start despawning. But again, that's a problem that can be solved by glue, because if we place some, for example, some barrels, could be anything with an inventory, but if we place those blocks here and we glue them with the rest of the machine, like so, and now we put this here, like so, well now, if we start digging, it's gonna end up in, well, one of the barrels, not sure which one. Probably gonna be the one that's hidden, of course, just to make things... Oh, there it is. So that's where all the blocks are gonna end up instead of just being left on the ground to despawn. And that brings us to the last little problem with this machine. I'm not gonna stay here and activate it by hand. I'm gonna need to automate it, which is not that big of an issue because we have a water wheel that's not being used currently, so yeah. Let's automate this whole thing. So now we have another slight issue. The way I'm powering it right now, it's spinning it the wrong way around. But do not worry, there's a solution to that. So if we make a gearbox, we're gonna be able to reverse the direction of rotation. So now if we put it here, now it's going down. And it's digging, and we have a hole all the way down to bedrock. Hello! So yeah, now we can bring the whole thing back up. So if we just replace the gearbox that we added with just a simple shaft, it's gonna change the direction of rotation, and now the whole machine's coming back up. Alright, the machine is back up, so let's take a look at what we've gathered so far. Oh, some Viridium, Deep Slate, and yeah, that's good, that is good. How about here? Okay, so there isn't too much stuff yet, but it's okay because we are not done. We're gonna dig this entire floor, so what we now need to do is push the machine over that way a tiny bit. And to do that, what we're gonna use is a mechanical piston. So that's pretty much the same idea as a regular vanilla piston, except that we can extend its reach indefinitely. So, let's just hope I don't hurt myself doing that. But if we do that, see, we can push the entire thing that way. So that means we can move the entire contraption as a single unit, so we don't have to tear it down and rebuild it over there. We just push it this direction, and then we can extend our hole in that corner there. Look at that big hole. So what we need now is a way to get safely down to the bottom of the hole and back up again. But they already thought of everything. So there is something called an elevator pulley, and it's gonna solve all of our problems. So I already have almost all the materials required to make it. all I'm missing is the brass casings, but we can make them with the usual way, like so. And we have even entered a new age, the brass age. That's perfect, and we can make our elevator pulleys. But to make them work, we need a few more things. So first of all, we need some redstone contacts. So these things will detect each other. So if I put a redstone contact, well, not here, let's put it like so. Also, by the way, I completely forgot to mention, but that's a super important use of the wrench. You can rotate things. Oops, you can break things, but you can also rotate them. Anyway, totally forgot to mention it in my first episode. But yeah, redstone contacts here will recognize each other, and they will emit a signal if they're facing each other. So that's what we're gonna use to detect the floors of our elevators. We'll see it in a minute. And finally, we need to make a contraption control, and for that we're gonna need some rose quartz. Then we're gonna need to polish it with some sandpaper to get polished rose quartz, which we can craft into an electron tube and then into a contraption control. And with that, we're ready to build the actual elevator. So I already made the platform as well as a little safety floor because I'm very bad at surviving. So we just place the pulleys right here above the platform. We actually only need one, but I think it's gonna look better with 4. So we just place them like so. Place a contraption control here, and then we need to remove this. Gonna place a redstone contact, turn it around, perfect. And we're gonna place another redstone contact facing into the other one, like so. Oops, no, I need to do something before that. Now we glue everything together, including this redstone contact. So this one's gonna be part of the elevator, this one's gonna be to indicate the floor. We can put this block back here and glue all of that together. And if we right click, oh, it needs to be powered. Give me a second. So as I was saying, if we power the elevator pulley and then we right click on it, it's gonna attach to the elevator. And now, well, we have an actual elevator, and the redstone contacts turn into elevator contacts. I think that's what they're called. But yeah, they didn't look like that before that. So what we need to do now is go into super dangerous mode, head down at the bottom of the hole to put another redstone contact, and I don't have a button. No! That's annoying. Well, at least now I can grab my button. Oh, I still need to... that's annoying. I don't have a bucket. I'm way too poor in terms of iron to actually make another bucket, so we're just gonna do that and hope for the best. Stupid skillies. Well, that could have gone better, but, you know, at least we made it now. So the elevator contact was... oops, no, right here. So yeah, perfect. So now the redstone contact is actually an elevator contact, so the elevator is gonna recognize it. And if we... oops. Dang it, stupid water. We're gonna need to plug the hole back up upstairs, but if we press the button, it's gonna call the elevator. Might be a bit slow though. Yeah, no, it's coming, it's coming. Perfect, we have our elevator, though the pulleys don't seem to be rendering right now, but yeah, let's ignore that. So yeah, how it works is, well, we have the elevator control, so we can control what floor we're going to when we're on the elevator. And if we power the redstone contact, or the elevator contact here, it will bring the elevator to where we are. So now we can select floor 0 and head back up to clean up our mess. So the lesson here is we really need to make this whole thing safer, but it works. So let's plug that here and ta-da! We have a working elevator. That's great. And one of the very cool things about these elevators is that we can have as many floors as we want, and we can name them however we want. So I've added a lower mine, that's where we were earlier, so that's just the bottom of the world. And in an upper mine, so that's going to be kind of the transition between stone and deep slate. Sometimes you want to mine there instead. And well, we have the exit, but that's here. There's nothing special here. But that is gonna open up the possibility to start mining with some cool machines. And to do that, we're gonna work with something called a cart assembler. So that's how you craft it. And you also need rails and a minecart for that. So here's how it works. You place a rail on the ground with the cart assembler on top of it. You can place a lever on the side or just any way to power it, and you place a minecart in the cart assembler, and then whatever you put on top. So I got nothing. Let's just grab some basalt. So if I put some basalt here, right now the block is just on top of the cart assembler, but if I power it, now the block of basalt is on top of the minecart, and I can even pick it up just like that. So yeah, it's attached to the minecart, so we can make contraptions attached to minecarts that are going to travel on rails and do, well, whatever we want them to do. So for example, we can do something like that with a big wall of drills. We can glue everything together with those barrels, and when we power it, we will get a machine that moves around on rails, and that will break a bunch of blocks and gather them. So let's just go and take a look at that little thing in action. So that little contraption that I've built, how it's gonna work is quite simple. We're gonna put it on the track here, and right now the drills are inside the wall, and when we start it, so when we flick that lever, the minecart's gonna start traveling that way, and all the drills that are now inside the wall are gonna just break all the blocks, so it's kind of gonna just push that wall back. So we need to place it just like so along a wall, and it's just gonna extend a room. So it's quite useful to dig large rooms very quickly, or at least a lot quicker than we would get with his stone pickaxe. See, just like that, we now have that whole area dug out. So let's just start lighting things up. And you might have noticed that the drills are recessed by one block. That's just so that it doesn't dig like further into the wall at the end here, so that way it's a lot cleaner. The only little problem we have is that this little line here of blocks is still there, but we can just run it along there and it's gonna solve all of our problems. And just like that, we have cleared out a big room where we'll get to build a lot of cool contraptions in the future. So this machine was super useful, but it does have its limitations. Because, well, since we need to place the rails in an area that's already been dug out, it's really not the best when we want to dig out tunnels. For something like that, placing the minecart behind the drills would be a lot better. That way, we can add rails as the tunnel's being dug out, and let it expand as much as we need. But it does come with its limitations because we need to manually do the whole process, and there's better ways to do that. So there's this thing called a deployer, which does a lot of cool stuff, including placing blocks, and that's the part we're gonna be using in our tunnel digging machine. And that is the contraption that's gonna solve all of our problems. So let's look at the front first. We got two deployers, and as you can see, they have filters on the side, so we can tell this one to only place redstone blocks, and this one to place powered rails. So what that's gonna do is, this one's gonna place a redstone block right here, and as it goes forward, it's gonna make a trail of redstone blocks behind it, and this one's gonna be able to place powered rails on top of those blocks, so they're going to be powered. So it's going to make a track for the minecart to roll on. So yeah, the machine's just going to make its own minecart track to move itself around. And from the back here, we got this here that's a plow. It's gonna remove the powered rails and put them back in the machine's inventory. And this drill here is gonna remove the redstone blocks and also put them back in the machine's inventory. So it's just gonna recycle everything, all the blocks that are gonna be placed, they're gonna get picked up again at the end and placed back again in the front. So yeah, super useful machine. Let's look at it in action. Wait, did I glue everything together? I did not. There we go, that's kind of important. So let's start it like so. We can pick it up, and actually I'm just gonna remove all of that, and might need to add 1 or 2 bits of rails. But if I put the rest here in the inventory and I push it around, slight technical difficulties, let's start this over again. And just like that, it's going, it's moving, that's perfect. So all we need to do now is to glue the drills to that machine, and there we go. It's ready to start mining for us, and it's working just as intended. That's perfect. There's only one slight issue that you might notice. It's getting kind of dark behind it, so we need just to make one slight modification. So all we need to do is put a deployer behind it, like so. Rotate it the right way, just like that. Put a torch in its filter and some torches in the inventory. Make sure it's glued to the rest of the machine, and again, it's ready to go, and now it's gonna light everything behind it. And just like that, if we get it going, it's gonna leave a trail of torches behind its path. So all we need to do is remove them once in a while and put them back in the inventory. But other than that, it's making everything very, very safe. One more slight issue also that I just realized. Okay, I don't know what happened here, but yeah, flooded caves will cause some problems. I'm not sure what happened here. That should not have happened. It should be able to go through flooded caves just like normal. But the only problem is going to be with the torches. They're not gonna stay there. They can't be just left there underwater. But other than that, yeah, it works perfectly. And when we're done, we can grab all the resources that we have collected and put them into our storage. There are ways to automate that process with Create, but sadly we don't have time to talk about that in today's episode, so we're gonna have to end things here. So thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.